Three brave amigos are we.
Welcome back to this already the final segment of The Price of Business. I am your host, Kevin Price, talking to you about you and your business. You know that music is the 3 a.m. Egos, Dan Shed, Sigmund Kramer, and yours truly, Kevin Price. Sigmund's going to be bolting here in a few minutes, so we got to move a little quickly to get his input on today's topic. So, Dan, lay it out for us. What do you got for us?
Well, it is almost Halloween, and with everybody shopping for Halloween costumes, I probably just found the most disgusting Halloween costume I've seen, and that is a Ebola containment suit. Yes, for $79, you can purchase a face shield, breathing mask, safety goggles, and blue latex gloves on HalloweenCostumes.com.
Oh, dude, that's so lame. I thought you were going to say an Ebola victim.
That would be gross.
That would be a lot grosser.
Yeah, with fluids coming out of every orifice.
Yeah, the containment suit, that's kind of, that's kind of milquetoast. I thought you were going to say something about hemorrhagic fever victim.
Yeah, it's you know what it is, too, from what I could tell, it's the Breaking Bad suit with a few additions
little
to it.
tweaks. Yeah, I mean, look, it's definitely in bad taste when you got a bunch of people walking around with that have been Ebola-ized, but that's better. That is better than I had expected. I thought you were going to say something like, they even have plush toys of the Ebola virus. Did you know that?
No, that sounds very...
You can cuddle up with some Ebola. Yeah.
Oh, no.
Oh, yeah.
No,
They're sold out. I mean, they've had those for years. I remember I got my dad a Neuron or a Dendrite or something like that. And we used to laugh because they had Ebola. They had notice they didn't have the HIV virus because that was not politically correct, but they did have Ebola, and now they're sold out.
Yeah, now this is interesting because of the 40,000 plus people that have been killed by Ebola. What percentage of them were black?
I have no idea. I would imagine a whole lot of them.
95 plus percent.
It's got to be.
So why is it not politically correct to make fun of Ebola?
Oh, it isn't now because now.
Because a bunch of whiteys are getting it.
Because now it's happening here, but the point is, HIV. There's not an HIV plush doll. I'm fairly certain.
Yeah.
I could be wrong.
So do you think this is like, I'm trying to think of what costumes I've seen are more disgusting, and I don't know. I've seen some pretty just creepy horror costumes. What do you think?
In terms of just being in bad taste,
yeah.
I have seen many that are religious themed that are really in bad taste.
Yeah.
But in terms of just pop culture stuff going on right now, yeah, going around with an Ebola containment suit is probably going to, especially in Dallas, probably going to make people a little bit uncomfortable. Get on an elevator in that and see how the conversation goes.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm trying to think. I've seen of course, Harry, as in Prince Harry, having a Nazi costume.
Oh yeah, that went over like a
lead kite.
Yeah, really not good.
Yeah, and here's someone who is a tampon maxi pad man.
There you go.
That's about as gross as it gets. A Virginia Tech shooting victim. Oh my God, these are really horrific. What about you? What have you seen that are horrific on your part, Dan Shed?
Well, I did see, I think, shortly after the Boston Marathon bombing, there was a Boston Marathon, bomber, costume or bloody survivor costume, and it was just so out of bad taste. And, so I definitely agree that it's out of bad taste, and, I don't know why people think it's funny.
Yeah. It's not funny. Yeah. I will say that all of these are as bad or worse than that. That is incredible. Yeah, absolutely. I think it is bad taste. It is kind of indicative of a culture that's gone south. And really, it's sad news. I'm going to change, though, for a moment to a different topic. How did your guys do, Sam Houston State, on football?
Sam Houston State?
Yeah, I mean, not Sam Houston, Texas State.
We didn't do so well on, it was Tuesday night, national TV audience. We just could not tackle for the life of us, and that ended up hurting us, and it was a difficult game to watch.
Yeah, 34-10, that was brutal. Where, what network were you on? ESPN 3 or ESPNU or what?
We were on ESPN 2.
2.
We were the only game on TV that night, and I just have to say that it was a disappointing showing for Texas State.
You know, that's an interesting strategy. You know what? If I were the athletic director of a division, a small conference or a weak conference, what are you guys? What conference are you all in? Sun Belt Conference, yeah, which is about as weak as a 1A conference gets. I mean, come on, let's just admit it. If I were in AD for a school like that, I would be trying to arrange all my games on every day other than Saturday or Thursday, just in order to be the only one of the only games on that would make a national network want to pick it up. That was pretty brilliant, actually.
Yeah, it was. I mean, it was great exposure for Texas State because it really gets our name out there. I just really wish the Bobcats played a better game because, like I stated earlier, we were missing a lot of tackles and just not performing the way we should, I think, and it just really just left a bad taste in our mouths for all us Bobcat alums.
Yeah. How long have you guys been in the Sun Belt?
Let me see, we left the WAC and we joined the Sun Belt, I would say last year, yeah. So we've been in the Sun Belt for about a year.
Yeah. Well, yeah. But you guys have done, overall, you got a decent record overall, right? What are you, like 3-3? Yeah, 500. Oh, well. It would have been really helpful if you had won last night. 4-2 would have been a lot more fun.
Yes,
Or Tuesday,
I
rather.
definitely agree.
Yeah. And what about your Aggies? How are those guys?
Oh, boy, don't get me started. I have to tell you that I was so disgusted at the game I was watching at home that I decided to go do the dishes. That's how bad it was.
Yeah. I don't know.
was
I tell you, Nick Saban, I think, was kind of in trouble, frankly, if he didn't win and even win big. And I know that sounds a little crazy, but, ever since Auburn last year, he's been heading south. His team's been heading south. It's struggled more and more to do to get less and less done, and so I think it was absolutely crucial for Alabama.
Oh yes, I definitely agree because fans were calling for Nick Saban's head after a 1-point victory over Arkansas, and it's like, really, we won the game, and I just have to. I was just in shock about A&M not showing up to play at all. We just laid down and died right there. I mean,
yeah, it was troubling. It was troubling.
What did I walk back into? Lay down and die.
Aggie's not doing very well.
Oh man, yeah. I thought maybe they have Ebola. That's they're going for the Cotton Bowl, right? Not the Ebola. Anyway.
Yeah, they'd be lucky to go to the toilet bowl at this point.
What?
I don't know. Well, I mean, they had 5-0, and all of a sudden they've lost how many now? 2 or 3?
2 or 3.
3 in a row.
But
3 in a row.
What was the score on Saturday?
Like 50-0.
50-0.
Something like that.
59-0.
It
Sorry.
was 45-zip going into the second half, and I saw the score flash over the screen. My wife and I looked at each other and went, "What?
What?
Who are they playing?" And I said, "Oh well, it is Alabama. Roll Tide, but come on, they were definitely Crimson."
But they were a struggling Crimson Tide until that game. They've been struggling for a while.
They were number 6, right?
Yeah.
So they weren't struggling too much.
By Alabama standards, yeah. And the only reason why they were number 6 is because they were Alabama. The way they lost, how many games did they lose? 2?
2, yes.
Yeah, Alabama's lost 2 games. And so, what other team would be that high having lost 2 games. Notre Dame is the only one. Both of them get inflation for being Notre Dame
Right.
and being Alabama. And I will admit, Alabama is worthy of the boost more so than Notre Dame. Notre Dame is like ancient history to get the kind of credibility
They haven't
get.
they haven't won anything in a long time, but I mean, good gravy. Come on. And Texans too. What is up with that?
Yeah. I don't know if you knew that, but the U.S. Fish and Wildlife Services is blaming Ebola on global warming.
Of course they are.
Yeah.
Of course they are. Everything's going to be blamed on global warming. Terrorism. They were blaming ISIS on global warming too.
Well,
They did.
I'm not. Nothing surprises me.
I mean,
Nothing surprises me.
everything is going to be blamed on global warming. It's going to be blamed on Bush, and it's going to be blamed on the Republicans
At some point,
and Israel. They're all together.
At some point, you hope that they get more and more ridiculous with what these statements and proclamations that they make, so that they'll end up. The listener will finally go, "Oh, this is ridiculous." Yes, it is ridiculous. It's been ridiculous for years. All right, I got to call this a segment. I am tired of this.
Why? Let's talk about something else then.
All right, go ahead, bring it up. I don't care.
Well, let's see. You've talked about football. You've talked about Ebola. You've talked about Halloween. I'm sure there's some other subjects to cover. Dan, what do you have for us?
Well, we've already talked, like you said, we've already talked about Halloween. Let's talk about strange animals being transformed into vegetables.
What?
Animals being
Yes.
transformed into vegetables, which means that when you have a question as to what you're eating, it's very complicated.
Absolutely. So you must elaborate.
Okay, so a person decided to Photoshop animals as fruits and vegetables. You have, this is so weird, it's funny. You have a orange chicken, which is basically the head of a chicken, and the body is like
I
a
get it. Orange
peel.
chicken, one of my favorite Chinese dishes. Okay, orange chicken. I gotcha. What else?
And then you have the frogavocado.
Avocado. Okay, it's a frog avocado. I got that.
Then the penguin melon.
Penguin melon.
Penguin
Okay.
and melon.
Okay, that's interesting.
And this is my favorite because it's just so out there. But it's the carox, a fox
And a carrot.
as a carrot.
So where do you find these?
I found this really weird article on Mashable.com.
And if anything's mashable, it would be an animal and a vegetable. Mash them up
Yes.
and make them into a. Did you ever see Cloudy with a Chance of Meatballs Part 2?
No, and I wish I had.
Did you see it, Kevin? You got
No, I didn't. I saw the first one.
okay.
And you say I have kids. My youngest is 16.
kids? Okay, well, then you don't have kids.
They watch more mature programs. I did see Sleeper again last night. Woody Allen. I watched it last night.
Oh, yeah.
It's now on Netflix, folks. It is awesome.
Yeah, it is. Well, Cloudy with a Chance of Meatballs Part 2 has some really interesting animal-vegetable mashups, animal and food, and one of them, my favorite, was the Taco Dial. They have a Taco Dial. They also had a cheese spider. It was a cheeseburger, but it was a spider, and it had French fry legs. My son, who's 4, loved that kind of stuff. Really cute. So it kind of reminds me of that, but vegetables, animals in Photoshop. So
Yeah.
anyway, well, so you go to Mashable and you'll find that. Okay.
Yep.
Anything else?
I have a article about a cemetery.
You have 1
Yeah,
minute.
cem-
You have 1 minute.
Yeah, this is no
1
time
minute?
for
Okay.
a thoughtful
Hey.
pause.
A cemetery in Illinois is trying to get people to save or get plots at their cemetery by hosting a 5K race.
Okay, because a lot of people who are out of shape will end up in the cemetery right there on the spot. So I can see that it's good
Exactly.
for business.
Yeah,
Why don't they just
brilliant.
go ahead? Why don't they just go ahead and make it a full marathon? They get even more business.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. Because less people will sign up for a marathon than
true.
a 5K.
That's true. Yeah, but they're going to trick you, right? They're going to get you. They're going to get you there, and it's going to be
They're going to
only
put you
people.
in a course where you can't get off the course, and they're going to have lions behind you.
Oh well, I was just going to say anybody. Just going to be a bunch of old people or people who are just totally out of shape, who've never done any exercise before, and they're going to call it the fun run, and it's really going to be the end run.
Very good. That was very entertaining.
That's it. All
and
right.
on that note, I'm out of here. I am Kevin Price. That was Sigmund Kramer. That was Dan Shedd. And this is The Price of Business. See you tomorrow. Have a great day. Spending it right here.